Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Christian Life Coach Collective. You're invited to this table with others on the same journey to becoming a great coach with a strong foundation, no matter what type of coaching you're called to. I've lived a lot of my life full of doubt and confusion about my purpose. I didn't know if my broken and messy story could be used by God, but I did know I wanted to find a way to serve Him and others while making money. In fact, I had no idea what life coaching even was, and I just thought it sounded kind of silly. But as I pressed into what God was calling me to, He was faithful to make the path clear to me, and now I love my life as a coach. In this podcast, you'll learn more about your calling as a coach, whether you've been doing it for a bit or just starting to think about it. You'll hear experts and coaching examples and learn new strategies and tools, and so much more. I'm Laura Malone, and I'm honored to guide you in your coach calling, and together, we can pursue wholeheartedness for both you and your clients with the help of Holy Spirit. So get ready to become the hero in your own story and an amazing guide to others. Hey there, you're back. So am I. This is very exciting. Episode number 5. I want to talk to you about the different types of coaching that are possible. I'm a possibility coach. That's my favorite thing to talk about, is all of the things that are possible with God. All of the things that we could possibly explore and discover and create and pursue with Jesus. I can't even take how exciting that is to me. Enough that I'm going to stop talking about it. So I want you to know what is possible out there in the world. And I want to preface it with the fact that one coach in any of these areas, 10 coaches, 1,000 coaches in the same area are still not enough to meet all of the needs in this world. And if you think that, if you're worried about that, it's crazy thinking, okay? So stop it. You are needed. A voice in this world today that you carry. Nobody can deliver the way you can. Nobody can show up the way you can. Nobody has your specific call to reveal God's character and nature in the way only you can. So start dreaming and go for it. I want you to take notes. Stop right now, pause the podcast, get a piece of paper out, open your phone, whatever you have to do, and write down the ones that strike you as interesting or possible for you. And I want you to write down other things that kind of come up along the way. Maybe you have some ideas and possibility shows up for you as well. I'm also going to share a little shout out for some of my friends and fellow podcasters out there who are doing what they are called to do and coaching in very specific areas because there are people who need it. So let them be an example as to what you're capable of, what is possible for you. So first and foremost, I'm just going to go over a few big categories that I will put every other niche underneath, okay? Personal, relational, business, vocation, stage of life, and strengths. Okay, those are the big umbrellas under life coaching. That's the main umbrella, okay? And then we're going to go under personal. You could be a life purpose coach, performance coach, finance and like money type of mindset coach, like Meghan Dwyer, who has a podcast called Money Isn't Scary. That's awesome. You could do all kinds of mindset work and be a mindset coach. That's something we really need today. And one of the most powerful things and types of coaching that I've done over all of these years. It's so powerful. I love the Enneagram and all types of personality assessments and ways to have greater self-awareness. You could be a self-awareness coach, a personal development coach. Mental health, let's just say that goes along of a baseline anxiety and depression. We're not talking a sub-functional high anxiety or deep depression that needs to be referred out to counseling. But emotional health, a self-worth, like Devoney Kodad, she's got a Free and Well podcast, and she does self-worth and personal coaching, soul care, spiritual formation, health, all kinds of wellness. Rebecca Santos, she does hot mess. She's a hot mom too. So hot mess mom health, a podcast and coaching. You could do stress management coaching, grief and loss, faith and transition in faith, like Shelby Hohsfield with Finding Faith Above podcast and coaching. She helps ex-Mormon women transition into a walk of relationship with Jesus. And life recovery coaching, specifically, people who want to be able to move on. They've gone through therapy and worked through the processes that they've needed to go through because of abuse in their life, but now they're moving forward. That's where coaching would come into play. Victimhood into becoming a hero, being able to help somebody take the steps of moving out of being a victim in their story into becoming the hero in their story, and then ultimately a guide. So those are just some of the personal types of coaching you could do. On the relational side of coaching, you could be a parenting coach, stay-at-home mom coach, work-from-home mom, parents who have kids dealing with ADHD or autism, other types of neurodiversity and physical diversity, marriage, like Lydia Santos with the JAR podcast. She's amazing. Trust recovery for relationships that need to go forward and continue, where a relationship needs to build back trust after it's been broken for some reason. Premarital coaching, relationship in general, helping people process how they are in relationships, like boundaries, things like that. Divorce, widow or widower coach, just in general, a women's or a men's coach. Lots of different options in there. There's also, in the category of business, there's building your business with God, like Estela does on the Estela Kelley show. Lots of team coaching, marketing coach, social media coach, career, entrepreneurship, solopreneurship. That's check out Kristi on Simplicity for Solopreneurs. Leadership, executive coaching, podcasting like the Stefanie show, YouTuber coaching, kind of every outlet of consumable material. People could use a coach in those areas. Then there's vocations, which is, I'm not even going to go all over that because teachers, leaders, writers, managers, restaurant owners, everybody in any kind of vocation would love to have somebody who could walk with them in regards to the very specific challenges that arise and the goals that they have for whatever vocation they find themselves in. Stage of life is a huge one. And like motherhood. So Stefanie Pletka with Motherhood Mindset podcast and coaching. Amazing. Fatherhood. There probably needs to be more men out there who could be fatherhood coaches. Raising teens, like Heather on the Life Coach BFF show. She was recently on CNN. They highlighted her as an amazing life coach just for her simplistic way of meeting the needs of of her listeners. Like just these simple, straightforward ways. They loved it and brought her on. And that's just because she stepped out and started coaching and putting out helpful information, reaching her hand out. You can do this, and you don't even know what God has for you in this path of coaching. Coaches for teen moms with newborns and toddlers, moms and parents with elementary kids, empty nesters, midlife stage, like Michelle Zavala with the Easy Aging Show, and her coaching and courses, advanced life and retirement coaches, life transition of any kind, just moving from one stage of life to another. I can tell you, I wish that somebody had walked me through all of them. Moving coaches, changing coaches, that's something that I've actually helped a lot of people with when because I've had 19 addresses in under 20 years. I've been through a lot of that and walked my family and my kids through it. So that is something that I can imagine a lot of people could really use help in, even if you are a life coach that just had that area of expertise and knowledge and awareness. That would be great. Then there's things like strengths. Okay, so where you take things that you specifically are good at. These are really good in the mentoring and strategy coaching areas, like organization. So Jennifer McDaniels with Organized and Fabulous Mom podcast and coaching and consulting. She works like organization. She's kind of like a Christian Marie Kondo, like how do we get in there and organize all of that so you can live freely. She also does wardrobe capsule. I mean, you could be a wardrobe capsule coach. Come on. How more specific can you get doing something that you love doing, that you're interested in and you're good at? There's so many possibilities. So style, music. JoAnne Johnson, musically minded mama. She's just amazing at helping moms use music in their connection with their children. Time management, habits. Are you good with scheduling and routines and coming up with life hacks like Cason on her Pursuit podcast? So all of these people, they have amazing giftings. All of these women, they have started podcasts because they just want to be able to help more people than they can on a one-to-one coaching basis. But you don't have to have a podcast to be an excellent coach. That said, I hope you caught some of that. You can re-listen at times, 1.5 and go faster through the whole podcast if you want. But I hope it gives you some ideas of possibilities and things you could do. Two things I want to cover last are there's multiple types of clients. So you could have a one-to-one session. You could have a group or a team in front of you, a couple, a family, any kind of family dynamic. You could do corporate coaching, and you can also do workshops for people. And then there are different session types, and I'm going to keep it simple at just two. Let's just talk about authority coaching and equal coaching, okay? Authority coaching is where the coach is directing the session. It's more structured, and the client is kind of following them through a process they've predetermined. So that's great for business coaching and things like that, but it's a lower touch kind of coaching program. It's less custom to the individual, and the coach is set up more like an authority figure and or an expert in their area. It's more like a discipline based process. It works good for online courses where the client is going at their own pace. And then there's the equal coaching is what I call it. Maybe there's a better term, but that's just in my mind where the coach and the client are equals in the room regarding the authority and direction giving. So the client has a lot more say about the process and the session, and the coach is more of the guide rather than the authority figure or expert. Again, I always say coaches should be expert question askers and expert listeners, but that's about it. You don't have to be an expert in anything else. So the client's opinions, their likes and dislikes are more highly considered, and the whole process is more custom around them, and they take responsibility for their results, as opposed to the authority coaching session. That's going to look more like, you didn't teach me that, so my failure has more to do with you as the coach not making that part of my process. The equal coaching is going to see it more as, okay, I'm not necessarily as the coach responsible for laying out every step. You and I agreed upon a set of steps you were going to take based on your process and your consideration as the client. So if you're failing, you can't necessarily turn back and look at me. We have to look at what is it you're not doing? Where are you taking less action? What was missed in that process? It's more good for career and educational pursuit. somebody's looking at where they want to go to school or what kind of job they want to have and they're going to pursue and do interviews for. Personal growth, relational, a lot of the different kinds we covered today. But that it cultivates more personal empowerment and self-governing and ownership within the client's lives. So those two things are very different. And I think it's important to be aware of which one you find yourself tending to lean towards and making sure that your client understands that, that you're aware of what the client wants. Do they want someone to just stand there and tell them what to do? You might not be the right coach for them if you're more on the equal coaching session style. So, but if they're looking for somebody who they just want to guide them, and you're more of the authority coach and you want to just give direction, then you need to be more specific about the ideal client that you need to be working with. Now that you know the different types of niches out there, what do you feel like you're drawn to? I would love for you to write them out in order of your interest and then maybe start doing some research about these topics. Borrow a book or two from the library or get them on Kindle. Listen to some podcasts. See what really makes you want to know more. Find other coaches doing it and explore what it is they're doing. Or find what takes the knowledge that you already have and enhances it and gives you an excitement. Jump into the Facebook group, Christian Life Coach Collective, and share some of your homework from the past 5 episodes with us. The link's in the show notes. And since the group is new, you're invited to be a founding member. And I'd love to get you in there now at the beginning of all that God's doing. If you want to schedule a private session with me, go to sterlingandstonementoring.com and you can get some one-on-one coaching clarity. I'm super excited to guide you into your coach calling, and I know that God is with you on this journey. So, have a beautiful day, my coach friends. And just to end, I bless you, your calling, and your coaching. And if you've loved any of this content, my favorite form of thanks is a written review over on Apple Podcasts. It'll only take you 30 seconds, and I would so appreciate it.